Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. The writer of that psalm reminds us that government has a purpose in God's economy of life. And today we have lost our way in that purpose, and we have lost our purpose. So when we consider what God's plan is for a people, for a government, a republic like ours who founded itself upon the principles of God. I know a story about Alexander Hamilton. He was probably one of the greatest minds that helped frame our country. And in fact, he was probably the smartest man in the room at all times. But John Adams and Jefferson, oh, they hated him. He was arrogant. He was not a good leader. In fact, he got in many fights because of his arrogance and his pride, and was fatally and mortally wounded by Aaron Burr in a duel over something that was said. In fact, he was killed there. If you'll look on the $10 bill, that's his picture there. He was the first Secretary of State. He pretty much wrote the Federalist Papers, which was the foundation for our Constitution. So he was a great man. Said some great things and did some great things, but he was a horrible leader. He couldn't lead people. He was always fighting it, always bringing up his way or no way at all. It reminds me today of what we have in Congress and in our Senate as well, is that there is no debate, there's no open forum for discussion, and that's broken down and trickled down into our nation, in which anyone who disagrees with the current administration or disagrees with the majority of senators or our House of Representatives, you're labeled a racist, you're labeled a radical, you're labeled now a domestic terrorist. Regular working people are being kicked off Facebook and Twitter daily because they say something about a verse, or blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. But today we have many gods in this nation. We have the God of money, we have the God of sex and immorality, we have the God of meism, we have the God of reparations, that we owe everybody everything and that we are racist. I think the worst statement that I've heard in the last 15 or so days came from Don Lemon, the chief anchor at CNN, who said, "You white people need to quit saying you're not a racist, because you are. It's in every part of your society." We don't know how to handle that. I could care less about the color of a man's skin or a family's generation of history and background. All we care about is character. All we care about is integrity. Who you were makes no difference to us. So when we look at statements like that, you can't say that you're not a racist because your whole culture is racist based. It makes it very hard and difficult to deal with these people today. When you watch a news broadcast and it constantly bombards traditional America as being out of touch, out of date, and being on the borderline of a homeland terrorist, what we're saying to you right now is considered by many as hate speech rather than true American patriotism. So while the framers of our country had good intentions, it only works with one thing. It only works when the people work. It only works when there is a moral consciousness of right and wrong. Otherwise, America can't work, and it will become a socialist sideline nation like many others are becoming today, because they can't make up their mind who they're going to serve. Joshua put it best. When the nation stood there and they could go into paganism, Joshua looked and he said, "Well, you do what you want, but as for me and my family, we will serve the Lord." Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. More than any other time, this is a strategic moment for state legislatures to put up firewall legislation like Arkansas is doing, who now has maybe the best anti-abortion law in the United States. But we're going to need other firewall legislation. So talk to them, because the Second Amendment rights is leaving. Not only that, but the abortion issue all over the land. And not only that, but now the ability to have a free forum of discussion is leaving us. Our state needs to do what the state of Iowa did with Facebook. No tax break for you unless you're going to let all people be on your forum and have their say as they want. Blessed is a nation whose God is the Lord.